So these 1500 watt solar portable generators, are they too big for the teardrop lifestyle, those of you who go car camping, and just all you other small camper owners? That's what we're going to find out today. Alright guys, welcome back to Playing with Sticks. My name's Drew. If you're new to the channel, we take out small camper trailers as a family through the state of Alaska. Basically just giving you tips and tricks of what we've learned along the way, hoping to give you a more enjoyable and stress-free experience the next time you go out. If that sounds like you, make sure you subscribe below. But in today's episode, guys, it is the 1500 watt hour Bluetti. All of you know this thing has been tested, everybody loves it. We're going to put it through a few tests, but really, if you want to know how this thing functions, there's a lot of solar experts on here like Will Prowse and Hobotech. Check out their channels. What we want to do today is just see, is this going to be one more thing you purchase that you end up leaving at home because it's just too clunky and not functional at the campsite? All right, so let's go grab that other generator and just compare size. So this here is our 300 watt Rockpals, as you can see, attached to the little 100 watt solar panel, getting recharged because we ran it out last night on the heater. So you can see pretty quickly, this guy is big, this guy is small. In theory, this one should be 5 times larger than this because this is a 300 watt hour generator and this is a 1500 watt. So that's one thing that kind of surprised me about this. Watching reviews, these look really large and really heavy. Now I'm going to talk about the weight here in a little bit. But I think you're getting a little bit of a savings when you're going up into a larger generator. So instead of buying 5 of these little ones and taking up the space of 5, you're getting the same equivalent watts in this for about 3 3/4 size. So there is a space savings. So for those of you guys who follow the community and the comments, I talk a lot about this theory that having 2 small portable generators is better than 1, and then having 2 is better than having 1 large one. So I'm going to put that to test today, but I'm also going to put another test out there, and that's for those of you with more of a disposable income. What is it like to have 1 large portable generator and 1 small? Is that the best benefit for us small campers out here? So I'm going to get into that why 2 generators are better than 1. And it's not just because of the size and the price and the ability to be in 2 places at once. It comes down to one brand of generator has something you need and another has something else you need. And it's hard to find them in one brand. Now I'm going to get right back around to that, but I'm going to first see about the size of this big old 1500 watt generator and how well it fits into the teardrop and how well it fits into other camper trailers. So for those of you who are unaware, this is a 4x8 teardrop. So it's the smallest teardrop most people have. And our galley is even smaller than most. So it is not deep at all. That's why we have no sink and all the fun stuff like everybody else. So you can fit this in lengthwise. For us, it fits just right. And again, we're the smallest galley I have seen. If for some reason you have even smaller, you can just rotate this. Width-wise, you have plenty of space. And it's just so nice because this thing is really dense. All the weight is in one spot, so it doesn't tip over when transporting like other items. It's basically a rock. It just stays put. So it's time for that comparison of weight. So most of you know what it feels like to hold a 5-gallon water jug. This is about 42 pounds. Now this Bluetti is about 38 pounds. So it is lighter than the water jug, but there's a big difference. So if you guys are finding it a little difficult to haul something like this around camp, you should, because not only is it 41 pounds, but the weight is shifting, the water is moving. Like when I carry this, even with 2 hands, it feels a bit awkward. Where when I carry this with 1 hand or 2, it is very light. I mean, look at this. This is not impacting my talking, my breathing. This thing, I have to be a little more thoughtful about what I'm doing when I'm moving it. So my theory around 2 generators over 1 has always been around chasing the sun. Now, if you have 1 generator, you're tied into wherever that generator is at. And what we find in many of these great camping locations, they're in shady areas. And so to recharge that generator, you may have to go 20, 50 yards to find the sun. So once you bring your solar panels there, it means the generator comes too. And many of the activities you use your generator for at camp or in the camper are not going to be able to stretch that far to where your solar panels are. And so that's a great reason to own 2 of these. And then I say 2 small ones because it's just more affordable. These are kind of the entry-level 100-watt panels. And I just wanted to show you the difference in some of the features of these. So the first thing is size, right? I really like this one because it just opens up and it's 2 panels. It's very simple. It's really nice. It's got a little magnet on it. I really like this one because it's smaller. So as you can see, there's a pretty big difference here. This one's small because it opens up into multiple panels. 1, 2, 3, 4 panels long or wide. So I think one thing when making a choice is space an issue? If it is, if you're gonna hide this under the seat of your car or behind the seat of your pickup truck, I think something like this would be a good route. Or is simplicity an issue? Because carrying these around is kind of hard, because once you fold out all 4 panels of that Rockpals, moving it to the next spot to chase the light is a lot harder than just taking this and moving it around. And then build quality. I think this one just feels a little better. And I'm gonna put the price tag up as well on the screen. This is probably better because it costs more than the Rockpals. Look at this. So this has a nice flip out in the back, so it easily stands up on its own when you set it down. That's one thing the Rockpals does not have. The Rockpals, you always have to find a way to hook it up. They're both great solar panels. I think they're a great way to get into this because, like I say, something like this helps you chase the sun in comparison to something that's just going to stay full time on top of your trailer. Now the second reason, and this is the biggest reason to own 2, not all generators are created equal, at least today. I mean, someday in the future, I think they will all have the components we need, but currently some charge fast and some have regulated power supplies, but neither have both, unless we're talking fast charging mechanisms for your home like an EcoFlow. But when it comes to charging fast over solar, I find you either get one or the other right now. So let me give you an example. Our Rockpals that we carry does not have regulated power. So this means you cannot use it for its full charge to run a refrigerator. After about 40% withdrawal of the battery, it's just going to turn off the fridge to protect itself because it's not getting full watts. But if you get yourself something like a Jackery that has regulated power, you can be using that in the camper running your fridge while your second generator is getting solar. And the second generator I suggest is the Rockpals, because no, it doesn't have regulated power, but it has really quick solar recharge. So the Jackery takes almost, 10 hours out here to recharge it in the sun, and you don't even barely have that much sun in the day, let alone a shady day comes in or rain. This Rockpals, it charges out here so fast, and it charges great in low light because it has a good MPPT controller. Don't forget, with those smaller generators, yes, they're more portable and they cost less, but they cannot run those larger powered items like a blender or a toaster. They'll just turn off because they can't handle those watts, like a 1500 watt generator or higher. So maybe a larger generator and a smaller generator is the way to go, because then you can get the best of both worlds. Now just hold on, I'll show you some more power tests soon in this video. So now we've determined these generators, 1500 watts, really don't take up that much space. They fit really well even in a small teardrop trailer. It is much easier, like I demonstrated, than carrying a 5-gallon water. They are not top heavy because of how dense they are. They ride actually really well. Okay, so what's the benefit, guys? What's the benefit of a large solar generator like this for us car campers, small camper trailer owners? Why would we want to bring it out here? So while just hanging out and doing lunch, I'm just gonna go through some of the things I found really neat about this generator and some of the cons and just why it will work for certain people and maybe not others. So the first thing I would say is that these generators are kind of designed to be standalone. They're not designed to be moved throughout the campsite. As you can see in this video, I hauled it everywhere and it really isn't that heavy. But chasing the sun with it, yeah, it could work, but it is not waterproof. It's pretty big to lug around. At the cost of these, I don't think you want them sitting out in your campsite for people to steal. I would keep this generator in my camper at all times to just do the basic functions of running lights, but the main thing I would want it for is all that extra power to run my electric heaters. And why I like this, I'm not a big fan of propane heat because it just gives off so much moisture. And you know, when it gets cold like this, like the fall and winter, controlling moisture in a camper or car is really hard because you want to keep kind of sealed up to keep the cold out, but you have to vent it a lot to get that moisture out. And the dry air that comes out of an electric heater balances out pretty well. Okay, we gotta get some rocks out of the boot. So for many of you weekend warriors, you're going to get enough power out of this just from charging it at home. So for some of you who don't want to invest in a whole solar setup with the panels and everything, something like this may just be for you because all you need to do is charge it up at home and it's going to run out here the whole time. Now this generator isn't like a super fast recharger either on the wall or here with your solar panel, but it is nice in that it accepts 500 watts of solar. So if you have 500 watts of panels, all of them can be connected together to run into this Bluetti. And that's a lot out here on typical weather, typical sun. It has an MPPT controller, so it's going to pull good watts even in cloudy conditions. Another reason why I would purchase this large one is just the price point on it. Typically, budget solar portable generators are coming in about $1 a watt hour. This is much lower than $1 a watt hour. You compare this to like a Goal Zero from Yeti, you're going to find there's a big difference in price, in weight, and in watts you get. So for those of you, if you think 1500 is not enough, they have a 2400 watt out there. What I think's neat about this one is you'd think being that much larger, it'd be way heavier and the dimensions would be way larger. But I'll throw them up on the screen here. They're not that much difference from the 1500 to the 2400. I mean, it's big, but it's not what you'd expect for that big of a watt difference. So the other thing, there's new models out there that charge a lot faster at home than this. But that's not really the standard of the industry. So EcoFlow is really the only one doing it. And so I'd say that's the one maybe to look at for a comparison. So their 1300 watt version, it charges in, I want to say 0 to 80% in 1 hour and 100% in 2 hours. This Bluetti takes like 10 hours to recharge the whole thing. So that's a big difference. But then you go look at Will Prowse's tests and Hobotech and, you know, the Bluetti, tried and true, no issues. The EcoFlow, it seems like there may be some tiny flaws in it, but it looks like they're kind of working those out as they go. So those would be the two I would compare if you're getting into this. Another thing I heard, I'm gonna have to look into this more, is that it does not have the capability to be charged while in your car off your 12 volt port. So that's kind of a big deal because a lot of people charge up these solar generators like us between destinations. And then another thing that I find really interesting about it is that all the ports are on the back side. So when you're putting it in a tight spot like a teardrop trailer or your car, there's one side to turn it on and then the outlets are on the other side. So that can be really awkward getting things to plug in and fit and just turning on your unit. If you're on the fence about a solar portable generator, we just say do it. You know, when we got our first one, it made a big difference on our camping experience. Maybe you want that large one that requires you to not have solar panels because it has enough energy for your weekend camp needs. Maybe like us, you need a small one for that quick recharge and to run around camp chasing the sun, but a large one back in your camper that can run everything and you don't have to worry about, is there a sunny day? Will you have enough power out there? We hope all of you find the power needs that work best for you. Until next time, we hope you have a great trip out there on the road seeing this big, beautiful world. Take care, everyone.